Hello, everyone. This is Minister Davis over here. Welcome back to Girl Get Up. It is a blessing. It is a blessing to be back here with you guys. Today, we're just going to talk about shining your light as a believer. How can I shine my light as a believer at my job? A couple of weeks ago, I went back to work. If I say, I went back to work, we're on break. And my side hustle job, I work at a hospital as a nurse's aide. So I went back to work. And of course, everything is new because I haven't been there for a couple of months. So I went into work and I went to get my report. And the beginner, tell me about this family member who is just tough. She's mean to everyone, and they said, oh, you have to take care of my mom, you have to do this, she's this and that. And I took a pause and I said, okay, all right. So I went into the room first and I got her ready, but as I was getting her ready, the daughter walks in and she came in with a really nasty attitude. She said, why is she wearing that? She was asking me, why did I put her mother's robe on her? And I said, because she told me that she's cold, and I think it's appropriate to put her own robe on her because I'm about to take her to weigh her. And she said, okay, but her attitude was so, it was so salty, meaning just nasty. So I got her mom dressed and transfer her mom, and she was like, did you change her? I said, yes, I did, man. Right within that time, the nurse, she walked in the room and she said, yes, she came in, and she changed her mom, and your mom is ready, to go. So we transfer her with everything. And I said, well, let me, help her with her socks. When I looked at her feet, they were all ashy. So I said, can I have some lotion? And the daughter was surprised because I guess people who have worked with her mother didn't do that because of her attitude. So I lotioned her legs, and the whole topic changed, and we went from talking about something else, and she opened up. And I was so kind enough to that woman that this angry looking woman, I was in that room for about 15 minutes just having a conversation with her, and I told her, that I'm into ministry, that I'm into church, and I took care of her mother, and I left the room. After I left the room, management came up to me and they said, but what did you do to her? What did you tell her? I said, I just went in there, I took care of her mother. They said, well, we don't know what you did in there, but this woman who has been complaining about everyone, she came to our meeting and she spoke highly of you. We don't know what you did, but whatsoever you did, you won her heart. So I said, well, I just went in and I did my job. Why am I talking about this? Because most of the time we don't understand why people behave a certain way. Now, mind you, she's angry because they have just lost their father. Okay? Her dad had just died in December, and now she's watching her mother spiral downhill into the same situation that the father was in, and he died. So really, her anger is not towards anyone. It just happens that when you're in a room, you think that she's mad at you, but she's not mad at you. But this is what I did. I remember Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 and 16, where it talks about we are the light of the world, right? We as believers, how can I shine my light? And when I was in that room, I said in my heart, I said, God, if there's nothing good that I can do for this woman, let me show her Jesus by the way I interact with her, by the way I respond to her. The verse says that in the same way, let your light so shine before others that they may see your good deed and glorify your Father in heaven. How did I shine my light in that room as a believer? I didn't use Bible verses. I didn't do anything but my interaction with her, the way I talked to her, the way I was kind to her. She got to know that I was a believer at the end of everything that I did in the room. And she asked me, she said, where do you go to church? She said, wow. She said, you are so kind. And she gave me money. We're not supposed to take, tips, right? So she begged me. I took the money, but I turned it in to the director of nursing. I say this to talk to all of us. Wheresoever God has placed you, it doesn't matter where you are. Let's just say at your workplace, because we always think that when it comes to ministry, we have to be in the pulpit. We have to be at church. Right? But no, wheresoever you are, it can be at your job, it can be in the street, it can be anywhere. God has called us to shine our light. And there's another verse that says what? Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, it says, gentle answer turn away wrath, but the harsh words, it stirs up anger. If I have responded to her like she was talking to me, if I have responded to her in that same manner, whatsoever that had happened to her over the weekend with the staff that worked on the weekend, because everybody can be like you, right? If I have responded to her the same way she was talking to me, it would have been a whole nother narrative. But because I said to myself, I said, God, I don't know what it is that she's facing. I don't know why she's angry, but I know there's a reason why she's angry. And I told God in that moment, I said, Lord, I want to shine my light to this woman. I want for her to see Jesus through me. Can people see Christ through the way we talk to them? Just by the way we behave at our workplaces, regardless where you are. Can someone just look at you and say, you know what, there's something special about her. You know what, there's something different about him. Can someone look at you at your job and say that? How are you shining your light as a believer, as a Christian woman in the community? How do I shine my light for someone to see and say, hey, you know what? There's something different about her. There's something different about him. How can we do that? Many ways we can. Number one, the way we interact with people, which I did to that woman. And on the day that they left, I went downstairs, with them, and then they told me everything about their father. Had I not gone downstairs to talk to them, I wouldn't have, known that they lost her father. And because she lost her father, she was still grieving. She was still hurting that. And they are afraid that daddy is gone and we are about to lose mommy too. Lastly, before I go, Colossians chapter 4, verse 6 says, let your conversation be seasoned with salt. Let it be gracious, seasoned with salt, that you may know how to answer to everyone. And those of us that profess to be believers, follower of Christ, this is how we can shine our light to those around us. I keep talking about your workplace because we work, everyone in America, we have a job, and daily you go to work. You may not have the time to go to the mall to evangelize, but your workplace is where you can evangelize. At the job, that's where we all spend most of our time at work. And if you are a believer and work at a job, you cannot evangelize, then there is something wrong. I want to just talk to all of us, those of us who are watching this right now. How Are you shining your light at your workplace? Can your co-workers look at you and say, man, Eric, I can tell that you are a man of God. I can tell indeed that you belong to God. People are watching us. You may think that they are not watching. They are watching. Before you flip out on someone, I want you to ask this question. What is going on with this person? Why is he or she behaving like this? Because you may not understand what they're facing. There is a root cause for every behavior. Every behavior, whether an adult or a child, that behavior, it stems from something, right? So since we don't know, we ought to respond positively, because we may not just know what that person is facing. One more thing before I go. Remember, we are the salt of the earth. We are the light of the world. We are the light. We ought to shine our light everywhere that we go. Shine your light. It doesn't matter where you find yourself. Don't forget, you are on an assignment as a believer, wheresoever that God called you to serve, be it at your job, in your church, in the pulpit, outside of the church. You can shine your light wheresoever you are. Watch this video and be blessed.